Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now today we are baking along with our guest chef, Chef Francois, and we have been making a very simple 4-ingredient dough that now we're going to be creating the delicious filling. Now Chef Dumi, you've done such an incredible job by introducing us to Chef Francois because wow, my mind is blown to the fresh ways we can enjoy bread.
And that's the funny part about it, the fact that when he told me that this is one recipe that you can create all of this with. So what you're seeing now, these breads were all started with this one dough, you know, with obviously you can chop and change the flour, like you said. You can use cake flour or wheat flour. But in essence, this is what it is. So
Chef Francois, just to recap for South Africa, to get this delicious dough, what ingredients did we get in? And then what did you lay in front of us now to create the filling?
Perfect. So, yeah, like I said, the perfect dough is a simple bread. That is basically yeast, water, flour, and salt.
And salt. Boom.
That's correct.
And then the filling.
That's correct. So the filling is quite diverse. You will see there's chocolate, which is one of my favorites because there's no sugar inside here. So it's like, it's just simply amazing.
I love that.
It's not too sweet. Then we have lovely cheese, some bacon bits and some mixed herbs, some nuts, of course, and some cheese.
Some more cheese. Now, I am not fighting this recipe, but something that I'm finding quite curious, Chef, is the fact that you omitted the sugar from the dough and now you're going to substitute it with the chocolate pieces. Now, I'm just looking forward to gathering around the dining room table, Dumi, to try this. So let's get cooking.
Cool. Perfect. So you want to basically dip your fingers into the oil, and you can just basically spread it on the top of your bread dough, and then you're basically going to take it out and then just place it on the surface.
Okay, so is this essentially why we don't have flour on our surface right now?
Yeah, flour is always a bit messy and it dries it out basically. Then your ingredients struggle to, you know, contain and sit on your. So it's actually easier.
I love that.
And of course, if you have a beautiful bread dough, it normally doesn't stick. Okay. So if you don't use any flour, then you know you're a great baker.
You did it well. Okay.
And just to also advise, Chef, this is dough that we made, and this has been resting, and it proved. Yes. And then we broke it down, and now it's basically ready to fill, right?
And you can actually see, like, there's no sugar. It's like it's
full of it.
It's like amazing. Yeah. Okay, so basically you want to. Let me just see here. All right, make it into a
rectangle almost.
Rectangle, that's correct.
Almost just like a normal shape of bread.
Yes. Okay, so then you have your flavors, of course. So you're going to take basically your knife or a baker's knife. Then you're going to basically cut. It's like 100 grams. So you can. It's all up to you which size you want.
Okay.
And then.
So, Chef, I can see that you are cutting our bread. Do we cut all the way through? And why cut and not pull in pieces?
So basically, we're gonna basically dip it into, or like attach it to our ingredients, and then we're gonna basically stretch it out and make quite different varieties of snacks or. So
it's got to be neat.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I think you probably would knock the air out again if you because you press it down and then.
Exactly. So you're going to divide it, and then we're going to basically just like pull it slightly out.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
This is
we're just copying. Some of us are just copying.
This is my bed because the sound of it's just amazing.
It actually sounds like it's full of air, Palisa. I don't know if you can hear that. It feels hollow.
Absolutely fluffy, but also so easy to stretch out. I'm really not struggling. It almost does the work for me.
No, exactly. So with all offcuts of bread, I normally put in, back into my bowl and cover it. If I'm going to bake bread again, you can freeze it, and then you can reuse it in your dough again as a starter or whatever you want to.
Okay.
Right, now we're off to our toppings. So this is like exciting. Now you can make basically any type of thing that you want to create. But I'm going to show you this first simple step. So you will see I'm going to grab you some water.
Okay,
here. Get you in our little.
There you go. Perfect. So what you want to do, we can start off actually with our seeds. We're going to just put our seeds on the side like so.
Okay.
Then you're gonna take
our little brush.
Brushy, And you're going to just brush the top of your one piece of dough.
Just the one side?
Just the one side.
And just with the water?
Just with the water.
Okay.
The water just creates basically that the seeds can stick onto it.
Okay.
Okay, now you're going to basically tip it over.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now you just quickly need to make some little bit space. You can just put this over there, over there. All right, now you're going to place it in front of you.
Do we roll it around all the way, or just that one side?
Just at one side.
Okay.
So then you're going to basically...
Do we expose the side? No.
You're going to...
It's face down.
Yes, that's correct. Perfect.
Okay.
And you're just going to stretch it out again. And then you're going to twirl it like
Ooh.
this. So it creates a beautiful...
Ah, so, okay. I see you.
if that doesn't work, you can basically just go.
Yeah,
like
I think I was going to do that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then, before we put it on the tray, you can basically just take your tips of your fingers and just spread it all over.
I think I like the fact that, Chef, you've mentioned that you don't use flour for a lot of the stuff, and that, yes, it makes the messiness much less, but also I guess it keeps the originalness of the dough without having to add more of that flour, because you want the flavors to stick to it.
100%, no, totally. I know there's certain breads you get that's like a Portuguese bun, which there's a little bit of flour on. You can touch a flour on there. Perfect, and that's your lovely seed stick.
These are your breadsticks, right? These
Yes.
are your signature breadsticks. Palasa, these things can go up to this long.
Trust me, I saw one, yeah.
And they're lovely for before dinner or for a party snack, and it's so simple and they look so cool.
So, Chef, this is the time now where everyone can get creative.
Yeah.
Everyone can just have fun and play.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And, that's a beautiful part of it. So what the next step is, we're going to do something sweet.
Okay.
So you can just clear out your
Seeds. Okay.
All right. Then you're going to lay your chocolate
Same
in
step.
front. Same step.
Okay.
You're going to do exactly what you did with the seeds. You can use any sort of chocolate, from dark to milk to white chocolate, also perfect. And peanut butter as well, if you want to.
Oh, wow. So this depends, I suppose, on what your taste's like.
Yes,
Like
and
that.
you don't want to overdo it as well, whatever. You just keep it simple, and then it will work.
Love that. Okay. So once our chocolate is down, then again we add the water to our dough.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just paint that all over there.
Over.
And then, Chef, you mentioned that, you started out at a very young age, 12 years old, in the middle of East London. So then what brings you to Cape Town? How did your journey with bread progress?
So, it all started, you always thought, Cape Town's a big, city. You just want to, there's all the restaurants, all the big bakeries are there. And East London is quite small, and you just, and that age, you just dream big. It's unbelievable. I just wanted to go there. So my partner got studied in Stellenbosch. I've never studied in my whole life. I've just been working at places and just gaining experience.
Wow.
And I just kept on learning, and
wow.
that's where
I love the fact that your story is quite heavily driven on, a lot of people do go to school and do seek that formal training, which we absolutely applaud, and I'm so for, but there's also an element of empowering yourself through experience, because sometimes experience is just the best teacher.
Absolutely. So with the chocolate, you can do any sort of movement or, sorry.
Can I make mine round?
Yes, that's correct. Perfect.
So obviously, Chef, like you said, this recipe, we're making breadsticks here, but you could also, like you said, this very same recipe, roll into a ball, make little buns, make a whole loaf of bread. Would the process change? Because now we're making breadsticks here. We're using very thin dough.
Yes.
If you were to make a bread dough, perhaps that you'd put into a loaf, would there be a different process to how you put it into the pan or things like that?
Yes. So what we actually can do is I will show you one little small piece of. It's basically the shaping of it. It's just that, and let's go into it to show you. So that's also such a cool thing about it. You can move around and divide, and
Yeah.
and if that doesn't work, you can just put everything together again.
Well, I'm about to freestyle my very own bread mix. I'm going to add some bacon.
Perfect.
And some cheese, because those are some of my favorite ingredients and flavors to use in the kitchen.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to see how that's going to come together. Is it okay to mix and add the cheese
Yes.
on top of the bacon just like this?
Absolutely. It's by all means.
Go crazy.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what you want to do, you want to create a ball,
Okay.
which you tuck your dough in
As you
on
roll
the
it.
on the roll, as you like that. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can just basically tuck everything like that in.
Okay.
And just swirl it around, yeah. And that you will see, which you will put down on your surface, and you will just basically make quite nice little roll.
Okay.
And you have to create a seam so that when you bake it, it doesn't explode or wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you could obviously make what kind of rolls from this? What burger
Yes,
buns?
burger bun rolls, hot dog rolls, so many.
The sky's the limit here. I don't think that I have enjoyed bread in so many different types of way. I know that at home, you know, especially a lot of kids right now are back at school full on, and they're enjoying a lot of bread within their lunch boxes. So this is a fresh, lovely way of enjoying those lunch boxes. But mom, dad, everyone, guardians, take it up a notch and make it yourself.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Definitely.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm well on my way here. My bacon and cheese roll, breadstick rather, is pretty much done.
And basically that's it, Chef, where you can get as creative as you want with the fillings, with the toppings.
Yes.
I mean, we've swirled the seeds around. Could you even perhaps open up the dough and put something in there and then bake it with that? I mean, like with garlic bread, that's, I guess, how they do it, where you slice it up?
Yes. That is also, like, you will see like this type of bread here. You can now lay it out.
Okay.
You can even make a flatbread out of this, which is so easy. So I'll quickly explain to you how. So you can take flour or oil, and you can just basically press out the sides of it, like that. And it's really as simple as it looks like a nice little pie. And then you can basically just stretch it out, take a rolling pin, and create your own little flatbread.
Wow.
And would this be the kind of bread that a dough that you don't use a rolling pin? You always want to use your hands, or can you use a rolling pin?
Preferably yes, but you can use a rolling pin.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want it to just get it thinner.
Okay.
But I like it quite doughy.
I see, like you're getting your hands, like you're literally feeling it with your hands.
Yes.
But it's what we say about using all your senses, you know, when you're in the kitchen, and that's what I love, where you can actually feel it at the tip of your hands.
Perfect. Yeah.
I love that. Well, Chef, whilst we're putting the finishing touches on our fillings of the bread, after the break, what do you have up your sleeve? What are we going to be making?
So next is my ultimate favorite, brioche.
Well, as Chef said, say no more. We're going to be creating a delicious brioche coming up.